President Obama is in Nevada today after making his new immigration policy official. He signed 2 executive orders as he flew west on Friday. Julianna Goldman is in our Washington bureau with the latest on the new policy and the political fallout from it. Good morning, Julianna.
Good morning. Well, Republicans have reacted furiously. They say the president overstepped his authority. And yesterday, as you mentioned, the president was in Nevada. It's the state with the highest proportion of illegal immigrants in the U.S. President Obama said his immigration measures are a temporary solution and can be voided if Congress passes a comprehensive bill.
I have a simple answer. Pass a bill.
Selling the new immigration rules in Las Vegas, President Obama said he did what Congress would not.
We're not giving up. We're going to keep on working with members of Congress to make permanent reform a reality. But until that day comes, there are actions that I have the legal authority to take that will help make our immigration system more fair and more just. And this morning, I began to take some of those actions.
His actions shield an estimated 5 million undocumented immigrants from deportation. They apply to adults and children who have lived in America at least 5 years and have no criminal record. Adults with children born in the U.S. or with permanent legal status can also apply for a 3-year work permit. There's no path to citizenship or access to Obamacare. But with the stroke of his pen aboard Air Force One earlier in the day, President Obama officially defied Republican warnings. House Speaker John Boehner said his party would respond in the days ahead, but didn't offer specifics.
With this action, the president has chosen to deliberately sabotage any chance of enacting bipartisan reforms that he claims to seek. And as I told the president yesterday, he's damaging the presidency itself.
Some conservative Republicans have suggested suing President Obama, while others have proposed cutting off funding for agencies that will implement the plan. But by focusing on legal challenges or threats of a government shutdown, Republicans risk alienating Hispanic and even some independent voters ahead of the 2016 elections.
Now, while Republicans weigh their next steps, the president is going to embark on a major sales pitch. Polls show Americans support immigration reform, but they're wary of the president acting on his own. So he'll travel to Chicago next week, and he'll meet with community leaders on immigration. Anthony?
Julianna Goldman, thank you, Julianna. And joining us now for a look at what challenges lie ahead for the president and what this means for the country is Jon Allen, Washington bureau chief for Bloomberg News. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Anthony.
Let's start with the president's action here and why he took it, because he knew he was going to sort of ignite a firestorm here, and polls suggest people don't like the fact that he acted alone. So why did he do this now?
Well, I think there are a couple of reasons. Number one, I think this is a time where he felt like he could do it. He had been told by Democrats in Congress to wait until after the midterm elections. They worried that this would hurt them. He waited till after the midterm elections. They lost their elections anyway. So I think he felt this was a good spot to do it. But I also think this is a time when the president has seen politically his approval ratings drop, and they're dropping because Democrats have been less approving of him. And I think he's trying to get his base back behind him. In some cases, we're talking about Hispanics. In other cases, Democrats more broadly than that.
You mentioned that, and Julianna brought it up also. I'm curious. I mean, it seems almost like a balancing act at this point. What can Republicans say, or what do they need to do to not turn off Hispanic voters? And why do you think President Obama is really trying to appeal to them?
Well, I think Republicans have struggled to find the answer to that. They've been getting clobbered in recent elections by Hispanic voters. Democrats became worried after this midterm election because they felt like they didn't get enough turnout from Hispanic voters. I think the answer for Republicans is to figure out internally where their party needs to go on this. I think it's going to be very hard for them to win a national election, meaning a presidential election, unless they nominate candidates who are talking in ways that are much more sensitive to Hispanics.
Republicans are furious, John. Realistically, can they stop the president here?
Probably not. What's going to happen, I think, in the new Congress is you'll see the Republican House and the Republican-led Senate, maybe with a handful of Democratic supporters, trying to block this immigration order, trying to pass legislation that would prevent it from going into effect or stop it, repeal it, something along those lines. But ultimately, the president would be able to veto any legislation like that if it got to his desk. And I think practically it's going to be very difficult for the next president to overturn this unless there is a permanent solution. I think telling people to come out of the shadows, to sign up with the government, perhaps to get work permits, to identify themselves, and then a couple years from now turning that back is going to be very, very difficult to do politically.
Before we let you go, John, I want to ask you about the tweet from Hillary Clinton last night. She tweeted that she's in support of the bill. Is there a strategy behind that?
Yes, I think there is a strategy behind that, and I think it's that she wants to be the president of the United States come January 2017, and she very much understands that Republicans are on the ropes with the Hispanics, and anything short of endorsing this would have been damaging to her with Hispanics.
Jon Allen not mincing any words for us this morning. Thank you so much.
Take care, Benita.